Hey everybody, Hellcrex here. Welcome to another Mercenary Thoughts from Nether Sphere, episode 333. Yes, 333 episodes. So if you stop by to look at the Kodiak, there's a whole bunch more. All right, today we're going to be talking about the Kodiak, that clan mech. It's almost like a totem mech for the ghost bears. When you consider it, Kodiak, ghost bears, bear, yeah, stands to reason that a 100-ton mech will be the nasty one. Sort of. All right, so we got the Kodiak, 100 tons. It's a 460 Hero with Indosteel XL engine, has 17.5 tons of armor, which is 280, which is roughly about a ton and a half short. So like 307, 306, I think it is, or maybe it's 305. I think it's 304. Yeah, 304. I think it's 304. Would be roughly, so 24. So yeah, about a ton and a half would be almost max. Since it doesn't have ferro, it's using Indosteel instead of ferrofibers, which makes total sense. It has a plethora of weapons available to it. It's not an Omni mech, so well, yeah, it is what it is. Now, the Kodiak has a interesting weapons layout. It does have 20 double heat sinks, which is good. All right, so it can dissipate up to 40 heat, but unfortunately, this thing creates a lot of it, especially with the basic standard configuration. It has a Ultra 20 cannon in the right torso with 2 tons of ammunition. So basically, the Ultra cannon and ammo fill up the entire slot area. All the crits are filled with just that one weapon system. Yeah. Then we have it in the center torso. We have an ER large laser for your only long-range weapon system that goes past 12. All right. We have 2 Streak 6s in the left torso with 2 tons of ammunition, which I really think the 2 tons between the two of them is like overkill when it comes to ammo, because we're talking about streaks here. Yes, if you be able to fire them both at the same time, yes, you're going to get 7.5 shots, but not always going to have a lock hit. So I think it's almost a little too much ammo. Almost. Then we have, here's the kind of the hard-hitting system you have. You got 4 ER medium lasers in the right arm and 4 ER medium lasers in the left arm. Now, you just kind of see here, oh, it's got 20 double heat sinks. Yeah, but that's not enough. This thing will barbecue the pilot inside if you fire everything. Definitely, like, just the ER medium lasers is 40 heat right there. And if you run, that's 42. You can do that for 2 turns. But you got this autocannon right there. The Ultra, which if you get that thing in range, I'm not going to fire that. That's just ridiculous. No, they're going to probably fire it. So there's another 14. So you can go, yeah. Then you get the streaks. That's 8 more heat. So you get 22, 62 heat. And if you run, that's 64. You just went up 24 in the heat scale. Oh, let's just throw in the ER large laser. Because let me tell you, I've seen people use this thing and fired everything they have. And they go, all right, I did a lot of damage. You're like, yeah, but you're shut down. Like, what? What do you mean shut down? Well, you just cooked yourself. Like, well, I wasn't paying attention. Well, I was. So, congratulations. Your 100-ton mech is now just a sitting duck. Like, you blunk. And it's going to be shot to heck. Hope you survive. So, yeah, you got to really watch this thing, because this is a cooker mech. You can dish out some good damage, but on the other flip side of it, yeah, you can cook this mech really good. Yeah, so I always look at this thing. Yeah, you got the ER large laser. That's your only, you go out to 25 with that thing, which is good. And then once you get in closer, you probably will throw in 4 of your, when you get to 15 range, 15 to 12 range, yeah, you're going to throw in 4 of your ER medium lasers. So, yeah, you're looking at 34. You're still good. Still good. Don't have to worry about heat. Now, you could probably throw in 5 with not a problem. So you're running cool. Now you could go in number 6 of the ER medium lasers, and then you start adding on the heat scale. But it's here nor there. So you got to look at that, if that's worth it or not. You look at the fire solution, because those things are going to be firing at, you got one weapon system firing at medium range, and the other one's going to be firing at long range, the other 6. So is it worth throwing that in? No, probably not. You're just going to fire 5 and then throw in the ER large laser. Right, you're fine there, not a problem. But you still got a lot of weapon systems just sitting there parked doing nothing. And that's the problem with this mech. You got a lot of weapon systems that are not going to do you much good. Then, when you get into closer range, you get under 12, then you start, hey, I got this AC-20, and who doesn't want to throw out an AC-20 round? Now, the question is, do you want to double pump that thing, or do you want to fire a single shot? Because you look at your fire solution, and that's where you make your decision. You're like, okay, if it's a 8 or less, yeah, you can probably gamble. Now, the problem is with the autocannon, which I'm not, the ultra cannon, is that, yes, you got to hit, and then you got to get another 8+ just to see if you get the second round to hit. You're paying the price of the heat, but you're not necessarily going to get the benefit of the cannon, which is why I typically prefer the LBX over the ultra cannon, just the fact that I can throw a solid shell downrange with the heat of 7, or I can send 20 little plinkers downrange. And let me tell you, you get hit with a shotgun like that, it's like you're fighting away and you got lots of weapon systems banging away. You're going to tear some holes in somebody, then you follow up with that. And the streaks, oh yeah. I haven't got the streaks yet, but yes, you're going to throw those in too. Now, when you do get in close, I would tend to, I've used this mech before, I tend to start, I'm going to have 4 ER medium lasers, I'm going to throw the streaks in, and I'm going to double pump. So yeah, now that the heat of this mech comes from your streaks. So if you don't get a lock, you're fine. But if you do get a lock, you're going to cook, right? You're going to go up on the heat scale. And hopefully, if it's a city fight, you don't have to necessarily go too fast, because yeah, you can lose 1 pip of movement with this mech. Now you're down to a typical 100-tonner, which is like a 3.5, which isn't too detrimental, but it's not how I like to fight. I don't like adding problems to myself. So there. Which brings up an interesting point. You just notice that I'm spending a lot of time not firing 4 ER medium lasers. Now, if you're coming up on some battle armor or something, maybe fire all of the ERs at them and then tear them up with those, and then hit them with the streaks, and you might be able to eliminate a point. Possibly. Yes, possibly. Probably not, but there is. Now, so what would you do? Personally, I'd rather take 4 of those ER medium lasers in one of the arms and just convert it to an ER large and give myself 10 more points of long range capability, because I'm not using those things. Why would I want them around? I just like swap out. So I'm just going to go with 2 ER larges, 4 ER mediums, and then you got your streaks and your autocannon or an LBX. Depends on how you want to play the game. So that was kind of like how I would configure the Kodiak. Just make some slight tweaking to make use of your heat sinks and capabilities at longer ranges as you're closing into. Because once you get in close, yeah, you're going to rocking and rolling. So that's kind of like how I feel about the Kodiak. It's a good mech, but it's carrying a lot of stuff around that is just causing heat that, or not even using when he's like, oh, I don't want to burn my pilot into a crispy critter. I'm not going to fire anything. Maybe, though, if it's a last desperate try, you might throw everything, including the kitchen sink downrange. But I found that about 8 out of 10 times that doesn't really work too well. It's 4/5 of the time. Yeah, there it is. Okay, now let's just look at some of the other options you got there. There's a few other versions of this mech. We got the Kodiak 2. All right, this was a Combine Ghost Spare War. This one saw some action, the Kodiak 2. All right, this one removes some of the equipment and gives you jump jets. So you got to get rid of 6 tons worth of goodies. All right, so it sacrificed 4 medium lasers and a streak. Okay, so there's 4 plus 4. Yeah, looks like. So, okay, what you going to do with, so there's your 8. So now you're 464. Okay, kind of solves some of your heat problems in a way. Now this one comes in at 28.5 battle value. I think it didn't mention is like a little slightly over 2,900 for the standard one. So that's when it comes to battle value. Sorry guys, I missed it. I forgot all about that. Now, the interesting thing is you still got 4 ER medium lasers. You still got a streak 6. You still got an ER large and that autocannon. So that version still can throw out some damage. Plus, you got some good mobility with it, which I don't have a problem with because, like I said before, I wasn't using, most of the time, would never use those 4 extra ER medium lasers. Now, the streak launcher, I'm kind of sad to see that go, but, you know, if you're trying to give yourself some mobility, you got to cut from someplace. All right, makes sense. I don't mind it. It's not a bad version of the Kodiak. Very useful. Now, Kodiak 3, this one's by Clan Snow Raven. This one turns it into an anti-aircraft platform. It strips out 6 heat sinks. Okay. It has 4 ER medium lasers. It has a pair of LBX 20s. And 3 tons of ammunition for each, and a targeting computer. This one comes in at just a tad over 2,600 battle value. All right, so yes, you could, anything that's in the air that's within 12, you're going to blast it. Anything within 15, you're going to be shooting with those 4 ER medium lasers. So there, you're looking at 34. You got rid of, what it said, 6 heat sinks. So now you're down to 14, so you can dissipate 28. So now you're seeing, once again, you still got a hot mech, but anybody that gets within range of that thing, especially if it's a VTOL or a vehicle, yeah, you're going to blast those things off the surface of the Earth. You either mobility kill them or just knock them down to their mobility is so slow that the next turn they can't get away. You're going to just tear them up. That's the thing about LBX cannons versus vehicles or VTOLs. You want something that's going to do a lot of hits and you'll get those mobility hits. Works good for slowing them down. Now, going on to the next one, the Kodiak 4. All right, this one mounts an Artemis fire control system with an LRM-20. Okay, a pair of ER medium lasers in each arm, so you got 4 ER medium lasers. And you still got the LBX-20. This comes in at slightly over 2,700 battle value. All right, so your long-range weapon system is your LRM out to 21. Up to 15, you got 4 ER medium lasers. And then you got the LBX cannon for shotgun effect. So that's your crit hunter. So, yeah, you're kind of a lot. And the other ones, your crit hunters, your SRM-6s, which, you know, those things. You hit with both of those, that's a lot of good chances for getting a crit hit. But in this case, you got the LBX, which I always said that the original version, I'd rather swap out for the Ultra Cannon. And then you got a shotgun mech, you know, blasting things and getting lots of crit hits. That's what I kind of like about that design process. Plus getting rid of 4 of those ER medium lasers. And we got the Kodiak 5. All right, this one is a dedicated close brawler. It adds 3 more heat sinks to keep it cool. Deploys 9 ER medium lasers and 2 ER large lasers and a Gauss rifle. This comes in. This is one of those mechs that comes in over 3,000 battle value, almost 3,000 and a half. 330, 60. All right, so here we go. Once again, you got some heat problems with this mech. Now you added 3 more heat sinks and you're up to 23, so you're dissipating 46. But you now have 9 ER medium lasers. Okay, that's 45. A Gauss rifle kicks you up to 46. All right, so if you're firing the ERs, all right, and if you run, that's 48. So yes, you're going up 2. And it's not that bad when you think about it. Now, your long-range firepower, you got the 2 ERs, and you throw in the Gauss rifle. Okay, you can just bang away at longer ranges with the thing and do some good damage. Yeah, you can do up to, what, 35 damage? That's not bad. That's good. That's a good one. But when you get in close and you start engaging with those ER medium lasers, you're going to shut off those ER larges. And why would you shut off your Gauss rifle? Not an option in my book. So I'd go that route. Now, the Kodiak 6. Okay, this is close to the original version. The 8 ER medium lasers remained unchanged. It also has twin streaks. In the left torso, it has an ER large in the center. In its place, they swapped out the ER large for a medium pulse laser. All right, the Ultra 20 cannon has been swapped out for an LBX 20, which is what I said before. But it still only has 2 tons of ammunition. This comes in just a little over 2,900 battle value. But the important thing with this one is that it's running coolant pods in the arms. All right, so along with the 20 double heat sinks. Now, the nice thing is that for a couple turns, you can just throw everything down range because you got the coolant pods. So you're just going to be blasting away. It's like, hey, I'm unloading Alpha Strike into you and popping a coolant pod. Next turn, I'm going to throw everything down range, everything I have, and throw a coolant pod. All right, so there you go. Yep, not bad. It's an interesting design because then you are just Alpha Striking in someone's face and just hammering them with everything you have. And then the important thing is that you're probably going to rip some holes in somebody in that LBX 20 when it hits, shotgun effect. And in this design, I'd almost go with nothing but cluster munitions on it, and instead of worrying about the 20 popper, because when I'm looking for just hammering away all the time with shotgun. So there's that. Then you got the Kodiak, they call it the V1. It was like the V1 bomb. All right, this one comes out around, oh god, what year did this come out? It was late, oh, it's 3095. Yeah, this was like way down the range. Okay, this one has some different things on board. It sports a couple LRM 20s, has a LRM 10, an ER PPC, 8 medium lasers, and an ER small, and it has jump jets, 3 jump jets. It's kind of like an eclectic version of just throwing everything together that you have available from clan and standard medium lasers on board. So, the 8 medium lasers with the 8 ER small lasers. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Sorry, I skipped that. Interesting design. Not sure I'd really care much about it, but there's an option, some potential there. You're running with LRMs and a PPC, and then when you get in close, you hit them with ER smalls. So it's kind of like one of those versions you go out and say, hey, elementals, we'll just kind of soften you up with the LRMs and stuff before we get there, and then when you get in close, you just hammer them with the ER smalls and clean them up that way. So, yep, that's an option with it. But overall, I kind of already talked about how I would deal with the Kodiak. Is just get rid of 4 ER medium lasers and replace it with another ER large. So you got some long range firepower. Then you got your short range firepower, and eliminating some of your heat problems with your up close weapon systems. And there are times I also thought, oh, maybe figure out how to add another ton of ammunition to that thing to get it up to 15. So at least you go 7.5 turns of firing with the ultra cannon. But I'd rather just go with the LBX cannon myself, go that route, and then allow myself to crank out some good damage per se. All right. So that's it. That's the Kodiak in a nutshell. Interesting mech, has potential, but it also has a lot of drawbacks. You got pros and cons. Hopefully I covered everything for you. So like and subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one. Hellcracks out.